Hello guys, welcome to the video. So today we're back on the 3-star account. For those of you who do not know what this account is about, it is an account that only uses 3 stars. There's no 4 stars, no 5 stars. The only thing we can really use them for is evolution fodder. So you will see me using a lot of 4 stars as evolution material. And soon I'll eventually get Lapis as evolution. That, or I want to complete her quest line and then just unsummon her or throw her in the box or whatever. Who knows? I haven't decided yet, so that's why she's still there. But there's also a little twist on the account. I cannot use light darks or LDs. So that takes out a couple key vital units like Huan, Lauren, and Crow, and other units that I might put somewhere on screen maybe. Me in editing, come on, do it. There you go, somewhere. So the first thing, obviously, that we're going to aim for is Giants. We want to get Giants done because there's good runes, Fatal Energy, Blade, whatever. You know the deal. So our first team is this, right? But an issue I kind of brought up in the last video, which I didn't really get to talk too much on, I felt, was that they're not super consistent, which we'll go into a run and show you. But the issue is that not necessarily the waves, but it's just at the boss they're taking too much damage. Some runs can go okay, but more often than not, they lose. It's just maybe stripping, maybe it's the AoE that the boss does, but it's just they're taking too much damage. So when we get to the boss stage, you'll see exactly what I mean, but they're taking way too much damage, and especially this morning, Shylock didn't have as much skill ups as she has now. Same with Megan, so who knows, it might be a little bit better of a run this time. But it's just like they were dying. Lulu was getting wiped, Shylock is getting wiped, yada yada, right? And I wanted to farm runes. I wanted to farm runes this morning, which I couldn't because they were dying. But you'll see exactly what I mean when we get to the boss stage. And even like in the waves prior, like they'll waste their skill ups. So Megan will probably like use that in a little bit. Like you'll see, like there'll be enough rotations to where she uses it right before we enter the boss stage, which it's an unnecessary use of the skill. And the reason, and another reason this is because it's like, see, there we go. It's a waste. So we enter and Lulu probably doesn't, see, she uses first skill, Lulu doesn't do his immunity, so we get defense broken. Watch. And then he wastes it, so now we don't have an immunity. They're actually doing decent right now, but that's besides the point. They're doing okay, and she doesn't even strip it. She doesn't strip it. And that would happen. See, and they're almost dead. So, like, this was a normal run. If we were to do it again, I guarantee you they die. But, point being, and we could go again. No, we're not going to do it again. But point being is that they were dying this morning. This is not some imaginary problem I brought up. Or that I made up. It's something that actually happened. Right? So, I was trying to figure out how do I reduce damage. The way you reduce damage in this, at least on the Giant, is it's like we already have a defense buff. We already have, and we're stripping sometimes. On that one we didn't strip, but there's 2 strips, so we're trying to strip, but they don't have accuracy. But we can't get accuracy if we don't get runes, and we can't get runes if we can't even farm the stage. So it's a loop. It's a loop. So how else do we decrease damage? Well, Shannon had that solution, but we built Megan instead, which is increased chance of glancing hits. So she could be a good solution. AoE attack speed decrease and defense break for 2 turns decreasing their attack speed for 2 turns. Oh, so it doesn't have a defense break, but still defense decrease, glancing, and then this. But it's pointless. She doesn't serve any other purpose than the glancing hit. So it would have been a pointless build until she was 2A'd. We're not going to talk about him. Suri. And then Shannon would have been the only solution, but then it's like, I might as well take Megan out. But it's like, I've already 6-starred Megan. Like, come on. So it's like, how can I keep kind of Megan in there and like replace like the more useless Mon, which would have been Shylock at the time. Lulu's helpful. Obviously, Naomi and Bernard are super useful. Megan is just as useful as Shannon, but it's just the difference is she has attack speed slow, and a glancing. And when she's 2A, this is an absorb, okay. And then glancing. And also attack bar, or absorbs the attack bar, okay. So, again, how can we get glancing hits? Well, we can't really build any of those, and there might be actually light darks that you could potentially build, but no light darks. So, luckily, there's a buff that you can actually get that increases crit resistance, right? But that's not necessarily kind of how like the game sees it. So, Huan, we'll go straight to Huan because that's technically who we built. Decreases their chance of being attacked with a critical hit for 2 turns, right? This is important because the boss can crit and do big damage. But he's a little bit neat in general in all of his kits, so we'll go through his skill set and kind of show you. Throws a punch that ignores enemies defense, which is pretty good, and weakens the attack power for 1 turn with an 80% chance. Now this seems kind of lame because it's just 1 turn, but you'll see that throughout the rest of his skills that this is actually pretty prominent. He's going to get this off a lot. His second skill recovers the HP of all allies proportionate to your attack power and decreases their chance of being attacked with a critical hit for 2 turns, and gets drunk and attacks the enemy with a rolling punch, which is his first skill, with a 30% chance afterwards. And the recovery goes up by 30%, and you can do it every 3 turns. So you're going to have this off a lot. Third skill, attacks the enemy 3 times and decreases defense for 2 turns. I'm going to stop right there real quick. I think this is actually good because he has attribute advantage and a multi-hit. So it's like if he activates the multi-hit, the giant will attack him, and since he has attribute advantage, he's least likely to die, right? Than anyone else, really. Other than Shannon or Megan or Naomi and Bernard, because they also have attribute advantage. Decrease the defense for 2 turns with a 75% chance, and recovers the HP of all allies for 2 turns by 15% each. And then gets drunk and activates the rolling punch with a 50% chance. So he's always going to activate this rolling punch in some way, shape, or form. But it's like he has heals on both of these skills, decreases defense, does a heal based off of his attack, and also has a heal on this one. Super good, right? I thought this could work. So, we built him. He's not exactly fantastic now, but it's only because he's 5-starred. If he was 6-starred, you're talking about with artifacts, his HP would have easily been around 12k. His attack would have been somewhere around 900, maybe. That's a big jump. And I don't really care about his speed, but it's like he would have been really good. So I've got him mostly skilled up because it's not hard to get Drunken Master. So we're getting this off every 3 turns. We're about to get this off every 3 turns soon. And this is whatever. So we tried him, right? We tried him this morning. And this is what I did. This is how I had him built. This is how I thought to me this worked. Right? So we'll do a run with this and you'll see if it wins or not. But this didn't necessarily work either. I built him to 5-star. I farmed him and it didn't work. Because the thing is, you'll see when we get to the last stage, is the enemies are attacking a bit too early. And it's like you see the wave gets really aggressive when we don't have Shylock. Shylock is reducing the wave, right? She's reducing the wave, or preventing some of the wave from moving with attack bar reduction plus her despair set. So sometimes even stunning. So like here, Shylock would have reduced the attack bar, giving us another chance to do all of her debuffs. But we can't, so this is what happens. Though it doesn't look too bad now. But the good thing about Huan is he has that, I love that passive heal. It is so helpful. Because every time they're taking a turn, they're healing. But you see what's happening here, right? Is they're going to start using their second and third skill right before the Giants wave. So there's a cleanse, aka there's Lulu's third skill. And boom. So turn starts, Lulu's not going to have his immunity. Thankfully, he activated that. There's no immunity, so we're going to get defense broken. And we don't have the attack bar reduction. So we're about to get swiped. And there we go, he dies. Which defeats the purpose of us bringing him. We might still win. But there, defense break again. So it's scary. And plus, the violenting, whatever you call it, it causes a very risky run. So it was just as ineffective as the Shylock, right? And you see, like, that one was it turned sour fast. But I did this, right? So I changed it to this. Right, I was about to give up. I was like, okay, I guess I gotta build Shannon. And I did this just before, so I was just gonna be like, let's see it fail, whatever. And it worked. This has been 90 to 95% consistent. I think I failed once within the last, like, 5 hours, I think. Like, I've done over 100 runs. And they've succeeded every time. Most of the time, only Huan, like, most of the time, every single one of them lives. Sometimes Huan is the only one that dies. And then maybe Shylock and Huan dies, but that's it. And the reason this works, I kind of wanted to explain why this works, is because not only because of, you know, Huan's doing his crit rate, whatever, or the crit resist or whatever, but but he also has passive heal, so it's easy to replace Lulu because you're still pretty much getting a heal almost every turn. He uses one more drink, there's a heal, plus the crit resist. And then he'll eventually use his third skill, which will have a passive heal that you'll get every other turn. See, so you get the passive heal, so now you're healing every turn regardless of what the wave thinks or does. But it helps to have Shylock. Since we already have good enough heals, what's the point of having Lulu now? Even though Lulu is very helpful. But you'll see, like, Shylock's is what was going to do his thing. Or her thing. But Shylock will use her third skill or reduce the Giant's attack bar. So the Giant's not getting off that skill as much. So even if we're defense broken, it doesn't matter. Because the Giant's not critting on us. And plus, with Shylock and Megan there, we're stripping. So Naomi's low on health. Guess what? We're about to heal Naomi. See, he did a glancing hit. Because he couldn't crit or do nothing on Naomi. And then there's our passive heal. So everyone's going to get their turn. See, Huan dies, we don't care because we're already halfway done. Everyone's getting a heal. You can hear it proccing every time. So you see, they're back to almost pretty much full health. And she goes in, does that. Easy. And it's like I've tested it over and over and over again, and they keep winning. And in fact, the 1 minute 40 is because of Huan. So I wanted to show this right here. It's like you see Juan's there. So it's like I kind of wanted to update y'all, so in case you guys see the next video, you're like, why is Huan built? That's why. He's not super crazy right now, but these are all runes that I managed to grab while doing my crappy farming. It wasn't the best farming ever, but you see speed with HP in the subs, swift defense with HP in the subs, attack in the subs, speed, attack, and this one was just speed. I couldn't get anything really much else. I mean, I will improve on him. I mean, this guy saved my ass. He saved my ass. So I've been farming a lot, so things are going to be able to progress, because things are going to be able to progress really far, thanks to him. Quite, at least faster, right? So I'll be able to farm GB10 for quite a while. I'm going to be farming that a lot. But, kind of just wanted to do this little update video. So, we've built Huan, and he's actually going to be really interesting. We can eventually use him in, you know, guild content. And it may seem like a waste, but it's like we have so many 4 stars just sitting in the monster storage. Like, look at this. Look at all these 4 stars. It's like they're evolution fodder. I'll eventually probably like level them up and get them to 5-star and then use them as 5-star material. But it's like we have these units sitting here. It's not that hard to get a unit to 5-star. So if it failed, it failed. I would have used Huan anyways. So it was worth the try. But I hope you found this video interesting. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow because I'll probably release something tomorrow. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace.